I am on a mission to build the world's best rocket motor.
Fire.
But before we can get there, let's go back a couple of steps. My entire life revolves around rockets, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But I have a problem. If you want to make rockets, the best place to live is here. But I live all the way over here. You see, rockets need to be powered by a motor. And pretty much all motors you can buy are made in the US. 2 years ago, this wasn't a problem for me. But recent price surges for shipping explosives means that now it costs stupid amounts of money to fly rockets this way. So then, why can't I just make my own motors? Well, rocket propellant is made of two parts. A fuel that is burnt and an oxidizer that burns it. A bit like how a campfire needs oxygen from the air to burn. Traditionally, propellant in rocket motors is solid, meaning a solid fuel is combined with a solid oxidizer. These chemicals are highly energetic, so when ignited, they create a supercharged fire which is used to generate thrust. That's all good, but there's one minor issue with me doing this. In Australia, all solid oxidizers are illegal. Great. I can't import them because they're too expensive, and if I make them, I'll get thrown in jail. Does this mean I have to kiss rockets goodbye? Not so fast. There is one final hope, but it requires us to rethink how rocket motors work. Let's take a closer look at the most common of the solid oxidizers, ammonium perchlorate. The reason it's so reactive is that it has heaps of unstable oxygen. This is the only part that gives energy. The rest is just filler junk. So, when making rocket propellant, realistically, you should be able to use any molecule that has unstable oxygen in it. So then, the real question becomes, is there any chemical that I have access to that meets this criteria? You know in Fast and Furious, how they're always spraying some super liquid into their engines and then their car goes flying? Well, this is nitrous oxide, and it incinerates anything organic it touches. So instead of using a premixed fuel and oxidizer as you would in a solid motor, we're going to copy what they do in cars and spray liquid nitrous onto a fuel to create a supercharged fire to power a rocket. That's a bit of a mouthful. Why don't I just show you? When you break it down, a rocket motor is just a fancy fire in a container. So the more reactive the fuel, the hotter it will burn, and the stronger the rocket. The motor I'm making is known as a hybrid because it burns a combination of liquid nitrous with a solid plastic fuel. The reason I choose plastic is it can be melted down, and while a liquid, I can add whatever spice mix I want. Let me show you the difference. On the left, we have a plain plastic rod, and on the right, we have the same plastic rod, but with the kernel's secret herbs and spices. Watch them burn as I spray pure oxygen onto them. That's how we'll create the fire. Now, we just need a container. For this, we're going to need precisely manufactured parts from the strongest materials available. If they aren't pinpoint precise, hot gases will escape, and the motor won't be very happy. Welcome to Sam's factory, the man who's made this all possible. This place is an engineer's playground, and I'm honoured he allows me to use his space. Because of this machinery, my engineering plans can come to life. My favourite machine here is the lathe. It allows me to super accurately carve the stock material into functional parts, with tolerances down to a fraction of a millimetre. While I finish off the machining, it's a good time for me to ask a small favor. If you like the projects I take on, you should like the video. And if you subscribe, I'll know you want to see more. After a bit of work on the mill, the parts are complete. And we're ready to see what this baby can do. Unfortunately, we can't just fire this thing wherever. After all, rocket motors are just controlled explosions. I'm again super fortunate to have the awesome people at the Montana Group always offering me their facilities to do my testing at. If the motor explodes, I hope we're far enough away. And after some final assembly, there's only one thing left to do.
Here we go. This is what we've been waiting for.
Three, two, one, fire.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. What are your thoughts?
It didn't blow up.
Look at that.
It's a bonus when it doesn't blow up, but the real question is, how did it perform? The load cell logged the motor's strength at 4.5 kilonewton seconds, meaning it's comparable with mid to high-end solid motors. Not bad for a first go, but with a bit of tuning, this thing is going to go off the rails. However, I hinted at the hybrid's main selling point a little earlier. Money, money, money! Money! Compared to importing, it's literally 10.69 times cheaper for me to fly this way. This comparison does include dangerous goods shipping, so let's completely even the playing field. Even if you create both motors from scratch in the US, where all chemicals are legal, it's still 3 times cheaper to run hybrids than making solids. At this point, I hope you're asking yourself, what's the end goal of all of this work? Well, this is a rocket motor after all, so we will be flying it in an actual rocket very soon. But this is only half the fun. In my opinion, there's a lot of jets, but not enough rocket-powered vehicles on YouTube. And this is where you come in. Comment below your best ideas for vehicles that I can strap this motor to and then ride. Funniest idea I'll be making. Finally, I started a Patreon. So if you want to watch me blow myself up quicker, go check it out.